So, how are you? Fine. In Gujarat, counting is going on. Whosoever comes, whosoever is winner, what is the impact on us? But probably, probably the previous one that will happen. So, yesterday's video, class video, you saw? No? तो फिर आज का कैसे समझ में आएगा? हम्म? अरे जो नहीं आए थे, whosoever did not attend the class. Hmm? Attending the class is not that taxing, but seeing the class video after the class is over is you need to muster the strength, not the strength, muster the strength to take out time to see it. Right or wrong? So anyway, so yesterday we discussed about center state relations. In center state relations, we have to understand that we can have a cooperative federalism, we can have a unitary setup, we can have a decentralized setup, right? And we can be a dominion of another state, and we even can be borderless, and we can be part of sub-regional country like UK. UK is UK is a group of countries, not a country, but again United Kingdom is itself a country that people are accepting it that way. And in India, basically, we have followed these two, no, sorry, these four as far as Schedule 7 is concerned, as far as Article 245 is concerned, and when the units in India are contradictory to each other, then more and more disputes come up which are examined by the judiciary, and in order to make them converging unit, the complementary unit, so that the cooperative federalism concept can be brought in, that they are not fighting with each other, the judiciary has helped the Indian democracy by enacting what is called as principle of territorial nexus and doctrine of pith and substance, right? So the basic essence of these two fundamentals lies in the fact that any law enacted by the parliament has certain context, has some scope, has some significance, and has some effect. So the entirety may be different from the original law itself. That a law may be good, but its effect can be negative. A law may be negative, but its effect can be positive. So we have to look at The injection that doctor is giving, maybe it is negatively perceived by you, but the effect is good. Yes or no? That's how it is. So herein the basic savior point of view of the judiciary is that if I am examining a law enacted by the parliament which has been objected to by the states, then I will not, means being a court, I will not be declaring this law as unconstitutional, as not effective, null and void. Why? Because no law can exist in isolation. There are to be certain spillover effect. Means the transgression, intrusion. If that intrusion is minor, then we can ignore it. If that intrusion is substantial, then we will not ignore it. For example, this is a boundary, this is a law in class. The intrusion will come from the neighboring state, the neighboring building, it is another state. So the disco music, if it is very feeble sound, then there is no problem. But then sound is prominent that we are not able to carry our own business, then we will object to. If this person is not stopping, then what we will do? 100 number. You are getting my point. So that way judiciary is also seeing that if a law is giving some negative effect that are manageable by other state, then we will allow that law to flourish. So such law may be connected to the territory, principle of territorial nexus, means a law made for India is to be enacted by parliament or by the state? By the parliament. The legislative capacity to enact a law is seen as part of principal territorial nexus. Then parliament is enacting law for border areas. Is it competent body to do that or not? Yes. Now for the territorial area, Didi or Mamata Banerjee ji or whatever TMC head is enacting some law which is contrary to the security of the nation, then will parliament will not have certain reservations. By way of governor, the veto will be reserved. But parliament can do it or not. So that is why the territorial inviolability is the matter to be entertained by parliament or by the state? By the parliament. That is why states are not having the guarantee for their existence, and that is why India is a group of indestructible states with indestructible union. All things are connected, and that is why we are not federation of a state, that is why we are union of a state. If we were federation of a state, then what might have taken place? States might have dominated over the center, that could uh, they could withdraw from the Federation of India, right? So principle of territorial nexus is invoked by the court while examining a law which has been enacted by competent legislature or not. So for the state matter inside the state area, the state legislature is competent to make the law. But for any part of India, parliament can make the law. But yes, again, parliament cannot intrude into the autonomous districts protected under schedule 6, sorry, yeah, schedule 6. Yes or no? This is the most important aspect. Then to an extent schedule 5 too, tribal advisory council. Then if we talk about doctrine of pith and substance, means the curry and content, the gravy and content, right? If in sweet dish, if in sweet dish, if you put chicken pieces, will it be good to have it? Tasty? No. It means gravy matters. No? Gravy matters. Doctrine of pith and substance. It means the law which has been brought by the legislature is connected to a subject mentioned in any of the list. If union list, state list, concurrent list, if they are not having that subject, from where you have brought this law? Doctrine of pith and substance. Now why pith? Because a subject not in substance is noticed, but its interpretation or implicit subject is noticed. Then it will become what? Residuary subject. Now if it is a residuary subject, then it will be the parliament that will be entertaining it. And what if there is a repugnancy between two laws, sorry, between a law and subject matters are similar, relatively similar? Parliament law will be dominating, but subject to the judicial interpretation. Judiciary may do the reverse of it. For example, NEET exam controversy. Yesterday I told about this. NEET exam that replaced PMT for the case of at least Tamil Nadu. They did it. Then I gave you the example of liquor issue also. Then for that matter GST too. Certain states were given exceptional status. You're getting my point or not? In CAG I gave you the Goa state, which is an exception, not in purview of CAG, right? So that's how the doctrine of pith and substance work. Now if I talk about the delegatory mechanism, no, not delegatory mechanism, if I talk about colorable legislation, apart from these two, the doctrine of colorable legislation is also used by judiciary to examine the law. Now what is colorable legislation I have told you, but what is doctrine of colorable legislation I have not told you. So to begin with, colorable legislation means the law which is attractive in nature but with the theme which is exploitative in nature, that we are not knowing. So any person is coming, Mo means Modi. So any person is coming and saying that okay, you give me food, you give me vote and I will give you food, shelter and clothes. Right? Doesn't happen that way. The way they are speaking at the time of election. Right? So apparently things are good, but these are not good. Maybe demonetization was apparently fine, but did it remove corruption? Demonetization? No, nothing happened. In fact, more of it is seen. Then GST. GST is helping us or is helping the nation or helping the government? Is helping the government how? Yeah. If GST is flourishing in India, what will be the impact of it on regional or state political parties? क्यों? Hmm. Main m- main stomach ache or the pain in the stomach is the fact that the nexus they will not be able to have at the level of state. So for example, you are my friend, I want to contest election. So I am saying that please give me 1000 crore rupees for campaigning, or please invest it, or please spend it for that cause. I am coming to power, I will be giving you certain tax holidays. But I can give you certain tax holidays only when the tax is in the state. If it is coming by way of GST with the union, then it is parliament, sorry, it is the political party which is sitting in center is benefited. This is political parties are not worrying for the state development. Even if center is saying this tax is rupees 1 that you are able to collect so far from the state, we are giving you 2, they're not bothered about it. Yeah. Substantial important taxes. Yeah. Hmm. So there are only small tax component which are coming under the states, which are not sufficient for the state political party to settle their business. Then only one way left, that whatever the money is coming from the from the center to the state, they will be able to award the contract on that basis. Then center is saying we are not giving you cash, but we are giving you kind. We are sending you the contract. It will curb the financial autonomy, GST, in one sense, that the party in union will have all the way to settle the things. The financial autonomy is substantially curbed. But again, it is maybe good for the nation that many political parties are milking the country, milking the people. Then there will be one. But then opposition is sitting on the head of the ruling party. They are not incapable. They are capable of catching anything wrong. Anything Swiss bank account or directly whatever is happening, scams are coming to the light. Then it is fine. But is not isn't country heading towards two party democracy if certain introduction of big laws like GSTs are brought? Answer is yes. So GST is a progressive taxation as far as the developed countries are concerned, and wherein you see two party democracy is there. So why should they say that we what they want? And that is why the party sitting in center want to have control on every state. Yes or no? And that is why the simultaneous election concept they want to have. And that is why the uniform voter list for every election they want to have. What actually they are doing? They are developing only one neck over which the grip of only one person is there. Neck, financial neck, administrative neck, judiciary neck, the legislature neck. What is the statement of Khattar today? Sorry, the chairperson of Rajya Sabha, vice president. हम्म बोल. हाँ क्या था नाम? धनकर. धनकर जी, जगदीश धनकर जी. Hmm. What is the statement? NJAC. That judiciary declaring it unconstitutional is unfortunate. Why it is unfortunate? Maybe, okay, fine. They are saying, they are hinting. Vice President is hinting that what's coming next. And support of Modi ji is quite prominent in that, because Modi ji also told that he is farmer's son and a student of Sainik school, means Jawan and Kisan. Jai Jawan, Jai Kisan. You understand? Jai Jawan, Jai Kisan means long live the soldier, long live the farmer. Lal Bahadur Shastri's slogans. Lal Bahadur Shastri, please don't say that you don't know. You don't know? You know? Okay, fine. So he just having that favorite business at that less than 2 years time as prime minister. Now that is a political statement. That is, these are the political. Actually, I don't see the news in kind of with full liberty, because it influences then my neutral mind. I rely on All India Radio and DD News, means black and white news, not the colored news, so that the concept is not diluted. As far as stories are concerned, then yeah, it is possible to an extent. Movies, yeah, to relate them with the concept, it's fine. Now, coming to this colorable legislation, the doctrine of colorable legislation, when the judiciary is invoking doctrine of colorable legislation, but then it is saying to the minister that, see, Mr. Politician, what you cannot do what you cannot do directly, you cannot do indirectly. What you cannot do directly, you may not do it indirectly also through colorable legislation. But if the contest is good, then I will allow such law to flourish. I means the court. The demonetization was also a colorable legislation, but judiciary did not say anything. Demonetization was colorable legislation because it was to contain the UP election. That's it. Lots of cash is available with the state political parties in UP, Samajwadi Party. That cash was useless for them. That was the main motto. And why Mr. Modi contested from Varanasi, that was another, maybe in people's side it was coincidence, but then prime ministerial candidate coming from UP, then it is giving substantial negative impact on the state political parties. Right? Now, if after this we talk about that, why the doctrine of pith and substance, why Article 245, why the principle of territorial nexus are more important for center state relationship, then we come to the fact that we want to have what is called as cooperative federalism. We want to have cooperative federalism, and the definition of it, that the states are complementary to each other, not the competitor units. Means healthy competition is fine, but not contradictory in that sense. But then question is there, that why cooperative federalism is coming up, or cooperative federalism is more desirable. It means why state should join cooperative federalism setup, or why state need the patronage of center to be very straight. Now you need to answer this. If I am very straight, अरे यार स्टेट क्यों चाहेगा इंटीग्रिटी में, सॉरी, why state will like that. Not satisfied. Hmm. Interstate trade. Fine. Still not convinced. So if there is a question in prelims that why cooperative federalism is more needed today, option number A, that war exigencies or wartime scenario. Then B, fast communication network. Then C, police state concept being replaced by welfare state. I have not written well, replaced by welfare state. Okay. Then D, globalization. Then E, localization. The options are 1, 2, 3, and 4. A, B, C, B, C, D, E, C, D, E, then A, B, D, E. What is the answer? Hmm? Or do I need to have fifth concept, fifth point also? Means though it is not the format of prelims. Out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 is blank. No, out of 4 you need to tell what is the correct answer. Or if you need to frame fifth one, what will you be framing here? Hmm? All. Though technically the answer is ABC, but yes, if it is saying about all, then all is correct. In absence of fifth, ABC is correct. See, being a smaller state, how will you be protecting yourself? Because defense is not a state list subject, nor you have certain ways and means, the the mechanism to protect you from the exigencies of war. Then number two, the fast communication network, the train, Indian Railway, the communication lines, PNT, Indian Postal System, right? Then the the mobile network, fast communication network itself means the lines, the electricity lines going from one state to another state. Indian Rail is not knowing any border. Metro is a state list subject, right? Then no, the question, yeah, you are right. But question is that why do we need cooperative federalism? No, I'm saying that, say, see for example, there are 50 US states in a federation of a state, US. Now, out of 50, 3, 4, 5 wants that I don't want to be with you. Or when EU came up, European Union, many of the states didn't want to join. because they were prosperous tax wise, economy wise, and they had to tolerate, or they had to bear the other states which were facing economic problems, serious economic problems. But then, if the big state is facing the wartime scenario, then will that big state not requiring support of other country? Not at the time of World War II, they came to Gandhiji that please support us. In World War One also they came to us, right? So in the same sense, analogically, you understand that if any big state is there, they want support from a small state also, adjacent state too. Don't we require the navigational route to connect India? Don't we require South India, right? So that is what is the scenario. That same thing was visualized by the Iron Man. If the state of Hyderabad and the state of Junagadh might have been given to them, the map might have been different today. We were contained only into some of the north side states. That could be India, and another India, see South India, and you can say Andaman Nicobar and Sri Lanka, along with Pakistan maybe, right? So the cooperative federalism is also coming up, that people are more aware for their rights. The police state concept has been replaced by welfare state. And I have told you that what is the difference between police state, constitutional state, and welfare state. From police state to constitutional state, Article 21, right to life. And from constitutional state to welfare state, DPSP, directive principle of state policy. Yes or no? These are code of honors. That is what is the need. Now, when the cooperative federalism is there, what are the healthy relation between center and state? This is a question. Hmm? What one? Oh, see, the globalization and localization, most of the countries will be connecting to the center, and then center will be allowing them to connect with the states. If a state is not obeying or not connected to center, then they are denying their people and itself the fruit that other country is having and want to transfer it to the state. Then localization, that the demand local supply is there, it is not connected to the demand of the other states and other country, then there will be a problem with the state, that where will all they be going if they are not developing the market. And that's why the new concept, globalization, global plus local. No, the state cannot export directly without parliamentary permission. You're getting my point. So that is the main thing. Otherwise, Tamil Nadu might have had many things with Sri Lanka so far. The regional political parties in Tamil Nadu tried their way. Even they are not taking us as the Indian citizen. They are not accepting them as the Indian citizen. I have lived in Tamil Nadu for 1 year in Chennai, Tambram, so I know that. Because they had the ethnic problem. It's not that they are they are at fault. Ethnic problem, LTTE. Even Mr. Rajiv Gandhi went to Sri Lanka once. In the guard of honor, one of the guard came to attack him, which is an attack on the state. State means a country, right? So there are divergent forces, and maybe the center is not understanding the scenario, what is there in the periphery. Okay, you understood the globalization and localization. Yes, subject to the approval of parliament, right? Now, another thing is that if the center state relationship having cooperative federalism concept, then what all benefit is given or benefit these both units like the center and states are having. Number one is delegatory mechanism. Example, and now what is the delegatory mechanism? Means what? I am providing you the authority to make law for me, but I will be responsible for that made law by you. This is delegation. Now, if we talk about Article 258, it says that Parliament can ask the state to do so, right? And Article 258, vice versa, authority can be given. This is delegation. Then state may say that please adjudicate the matter that is connected to me being the state, right? Then under Article 262, for example, the river water disputes are settled by the center, and that is why center is taking help of the judiciary by setting up tribunals. Now there were many river water tribunals, now they want to have one river water tribunal. Article 262, right? Then there is something called as full faith and credit clause. Article 261. What is our full faith and credit clause? Now she will say, sir, I am hearing it for the first time. Full faith and credit clause means all the rulings, all the certificates given by the states, all the certificates given by the center will be recognized mutually by each other. For example, you are having CBSE certificate. Isn't recognized by the states? Yes, you can take admission in any part of India. Then the judicial proceedings means court of record is second thing, but Article 261 is another thing. They are recognized. The note, I promise to bear this and this amount. So only certain languages are there or not all the languages. You see that? Recognized. That is RBI, agent of center only, not of the states. Yeah. So all the records, public records, are recognized in any part of India, in any of the state. Then if I talk about interstate council formed under Article 263, PM being ex officio chairperson of it, with all union ministers member of it. Interstate council, Sarkaria commission was interstate council, Panchi commission was interstate council for center state relation. You understood? Sarkaria commission, Panchi commission. Then if you talk about the invitation clause under Article 252, What is invitation clause under Article 252? That I have already told you. Huh? Two or more states, if they want that for us, please make the law. We are not able to decide that if from one state to another state something is coming, what tax should be there that is to be collected from toll. Yes or no? A state will like to have minimum collection of tax, another state will like to have maximum collection of tax. That's the issue. That is invitation clause. Okay. Now then, the economic cooperation, after that I will take it up from Article 301 to Article 307, the Finance Commission, then other constitutional and non-constitutional bodies. As part of federalism only, we will connect it here, including Niti Aayog. So we can take one line about it in continuation with the last one. Hmm? Border states, other country, adjacent state, straightway. No, means I'll tell you the article, but you tell me that it is between two states only. Yeah. Hmm. There are various dimensions to this issue that no pinpoint dispute mechanism is there. So center will try to handle it. The judiciary is also trying to handle it. Hmm? No, no tribunal. Water disputes, not for the center-state relationship. Yeah, it is. Article 3. Article 3. Between two borders of the state, the conflict will be settled. uh, for example, Koraput, Kalahandi. Hmm. That is of course Article 3 only. Article 3, if they want to have it here or have it there, or they want to declare it as union territory, it will be part of Article 2 and 3 then. Parliament only. Means you were asking for the article. So there are from Article 249 to Article 256. So these are the articles which deal with the law that the parliament should make on the request of two or more states, or like that, or in case of war scenario, I told about Article 352, national emergency, that parliament can make law for any of the state, right? And even Article 356, when state legislature is not functioning, parliament will make the law. State emergency, president rule. Okay, understood? Understood. Chalo, we can write last line yesterday. Two means heading was Article 254, repugnancy clause I told. Then you please put the heading colorable legislation. Colorable legislation. Write in it. The doctrine of colorable legislation of colorable legislation is based on the concept that you cannot do indirectly based on the concept that you cannot do indirectly what cannot be done directly by you. What cannot be done directly by you. Full stop. This doctrine is used by court while examining such law. Wherein wherein primarily primarily the question on competency of the legislature to enact such law to enact enact such law is asked. Full stop. The doctrine does not question the bona fide intention of a law as such. Full stop. The transgression means a kind of intrusion. The transgression of a law may be direct or manifest. Manifest. Manifest means expressful, means explicit. May be direct or manifest, or it may be disguised or indirect. Disguised means hidden. Disguished. Disguised or indirect. Full stop. It is to the latter of this category. It is to the latter, later, not letter. It is to the latter of this category for which this doctrine is applied. Applied to the extent of transgression. To the extent of transgression. Right. For example, in Kameshwar Singh case, Kameshwar, Kameshwar Singh case 1954, wherein this doctrine was invoked invoked by court to declare part of a Bihar law as unconstitutional. Part of Bihar law means law part you write like this: part of the law enacted by Bihar legislature as unconstitutional. unconstitutional. Then right below this, so the above mentioned three doctrine, so the above mentioned three doctrines balance balance center state relations and the dispute. Then right below the heading, concept of cooperative federalism. Concept of cooperative federalism. Write in it. This concept, uh, this concept under which the different federal units are not looked as competitors, are not looked as competitors or contradictory, but rather as complementary units working towards the same goal, working towards the same goal. Full stop. It has emerged in all the federation around the world. It has emerged in all the federation around the world primarily on account of three following factors. Number one, exigencies of war. EXEGENCIES. Exigencies of war. Exigencies means the emergency chance. It demands that the federal government should provide security to the state from external threat. The number two, fast communication network has prompted the units to work in close cooperation. The number three, the concept of police state has gradually given way or has been replaced by the concept of welfare state. Then right below this, in modern times, globalization and localization has also have also become the reason to have cooperative federalism. Let's stop. At the same time, At the same time, when center is available with large financial resources, when center is available with large financial resources, it is expected to look after, it is expected to look after look after its siblings, its siblings estates, siblings, brother sister estates. The Indian Constitution, the Constitution to look after all its offsprings, to look after all its offsprings. Offsprings means babies, bache. Offsprings provides provides for the following. Provides for the followings. Number one, delegatory mechanism. Delegatory mechanism. Write in it. Under Article 258, the Union Executive can delegate some of its function to the state for better implementation. For better implementation. Full stop. At the same time, under Article 258A, the state executive can also delegate some of its administrative functions to Union Executive. Then second one, adjudicatory mechanism. ADJUDICTORY. Adjudication means as a quasi judicial function, to judge basically. Write in it. Under Article 262, to settle any dispute related to distribution and control of interstate rivers, Parliament can enact a law to set up a body to settle the dispute. To set up a body to settle the dispute. Full stop. And because of this, Parliament has enacted River Water Dispute Act 1956 that provides for river water tribunal that provides for river water tribunals. Right? Then write about the next full faith and credit clause. Full faith and credit clause. Hmm? Third number. Write in it. Article 261 provides that Public Records Act Public Records Acts and judicial proceedings 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 of all states must be given complete recognition throughout Indian territory throughout Indian territory. Right. Then the fourth one, interstate council. Interstate council. Right in it. Under Article 263, it can be appointed. It can be appointed to investigate and inquire on subjects of common concerns between union and state. Full stop. It can suggest and give recommendation. It can suggest and can give recommendation to facilitate better coordination between center and state. Full stop. PM is ex officio chairperson. PM, Prime Minister, is ex officio chairperson with all CMs of states as member of it. With all CMs of states as member of it. Along with important union cabinet ministers. For example, Sarkaria Commission, SARKARIA, Sarkaria Commission. Ex officio means Sarkaria Commission was itself a body under article. Yes, Panchi Commission also means interstate council asked to set up a commission. So Sarkari Commission was working under ISC. For example, Sarkaria Commission and Panchi Commission, PUNCHHI, Panchi Commissions were set up by ISC. To examine center-state relationships. To examine center-state relationship. Then put the fifth heading, invitation clause. Invitation write in it. In the legislative field, Article 252, in the legislative field, Article 252 provides that two or more states by passing a resolution can request the parliament to make a common law for the related state. Then the sixth one, economic cooperation. Right in it, the constitution, through the mechanism of tax sharing, comma, grant in aid from center to state, and through finance commission ensure economic cooperation. Then seventh point, the provisions under Article 301 to Article 307 impart duty on Parliament to ensure free movement of goods and services throughout the territory of India. Goods, goods, and services movement. यहाँ तक की बात समझ में आई? In economic cooperation, state can get into relationship with other countries subject to the parliamentary approval. Direct. So no, the NGOs are further regulated by the patronage authorities, the regulatory authorities. Mother Teresa Presents or Mother Teresa Foundation. So foundation can be given donation by the other country also. There is no problem in that, but subject to FERA, means Foreign Contribution Regulation Act. So if the Parliament is providing it, then it is fine. Then there is a central law that can scrutinize any foundation, right? So say for example, RBI is the apex body that regulate every bank. All the banks are available in the state also. State level banks is possible? Yes, it is possible. The centralized banks are also there. There's no problem. Banking is a state list subject too, as well as the union. So both the Nee, banking is not primarily union. So state level banks are also. No, bankruptcy code is different. But setting up a bank, setting up a bank subject to RBI approval is possible at the state level also. The subsidiary, the subsidiaries of SBI, for example, Bank of Baroda. Where is Baroda? So how it is possible that a state name is used in bank? So many banks are there on the name of the state. That is why mergers of banks possible. Cooperative banks under state only. Hmm? Banking Regulation Act is provided by the Parliament, and no bank in the state can be out of the clutches of RBI, and RBI under the center. So everything is under the center. That is final thing, and everything is coming up at the state level will be given consent to by the governor. But natural it is, and governor is having any reservation, then veto, and then final president's consideration. President consideration is nothing but the government's consideration. Government consideration is nothing but Modi's consideration. So it is simple. Modi between the link is having big chain, but direct communication. Okay. State cannot. Yeah. So interstate council basically concept that they can deal with certain issues which are common for the center as well as the state. Hmm? Armed forces comes under union, not under the state. So anywhere in India, Army, Navy, Air Force is present. It is union that can guide it. The police is under the state. Police is under the state. Now, what are the now if we deal with this interstate council? So interstate council could investigate the issues directly, or it can cast those issues investigated by a body that it appoints. So it appointed, like for example, Sarkaria Commission. So what recommendations it give? So what are the bothering issues for center as well as the state in common that you can think? I have already told some of the things coming from Sarkaria Commission for Article 356, the Office of Governor. These two issues I have given. Then what all recommendations for center state relations can be there? For example, that if a subject is to be shifted from state to unitary union or from concurrent to union, don't you think that state consent is needed? Not only the ratification of it by more than half of state legislature, but consent is also needed before you are bringing a bill in the parliament. That was the recommendation. That does not be accepted. Then what about the residuary powers? What do we mean by residuary powers? Residuary powers, the rest over powers which are not belonging to any of the list, has newly come has come up in a very recent time, right? So where it will be going? To the union. So satirically I always give the example in humorous nature that LGBT issue. The constitutional father was knowing that only male and female, we are new people. So where this subject will be going? Union will be looking after. But had it been a federation like US, this residuary subject will be going to would have been going to the states, right? Land, LBA 2011. Hmm. Hmm. The parliament. Basically, the constitution is saying that state cannot do anything. But in actuality, what happens? The demand, the acute hue and cry comes from the state only for certain areas. But the mechanism provided by the constitution is that the bill will not be brought in the state legislature of the issue that you are saying in Assam or in Mizoram. No, it will be brought in either house of the parliament. President will send a copy to Assam or Mizoram for your issue. And if Assam says no, 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 I don't want to die, or Mizoram say I don't want to die, it will not be binding on the parliament to accept it. No, 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 I have to give you death. Parliament can do it. So existence has not been guaranteed by the constitution to the state if parliament wishes so. Parliament cannot do anything. Parliament cannot murder any state. The reason of murder will come from the state only. For example, Tamil Nadu. For example, that time Punjab. They were saying, please make us Khalistan or maybe Tamilistan. We are already so much bothered about Pakistan. Not from Pakistan, but for Pakistan. They are not able to have Domino's. They are not able to have McD's pizzas and all. We are bothered about the citizen. They are not having discos. They are not able to have good entertainment. They are kind of Taliban in becoming. Taliban in becoming. Yes or no? So that's how it is. So Modi ji is having lots of effort that it should be included in India. To begin with POK first. No, the alma mater should again be in the confluence. Akhand Bharat, the integral India. Integral India. The maxim is that Kashmir मांगोगे तो चीर देंगे, दूध मांगोगे तो खीर देंगे. If you will ask Kashmir, we will tear you apart. But if you will ask for milk, we will be giving you pudding. That's what it said in Hindi. English version was available. Now, anyway, to begin with, like you were asking for ISC, to dwell more into the center-state relation and the ISC recommendation via Sarkaria and Panchi Commission. So, what are the main recommendation apart from residuary powers and the shiftage or shift of one subject to other list? What are all other requirement means recommendations can be? Hmm? Like what? Hmm. 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 To begin with, it recommend that interstate council should be renamed as intergovernmental council, IGC. Intergovernmental council means the government will look after, not the state. Then the article through 352, whatever the legislation has been brought should not flourish for more than 3 years. Otherwise, the parliament will be dictating its terms till the time it is repealed. Please put the heading important recommendations of Sarkaria Commission. oblique Panchi Commission for CS relation, CSR, for center-state relationship. Number 1, except for tax related matters, except for tax related matters, comma, the residuary powers of legislation, tax related matters, comma, the residuary powers of legislation must be transferred to the concurrent list, The number 2, when parliament proposes to bring a law on concurrent list subject, comma, the state should also be consulted. The number 3, the parliament should ordinarily make a law on a subject in concurrent list only where national perspective demand it to do so. The number 4, the period for which a law brought under Article 252 a law the period for which a law brought under Article 252 shall remain in operation only up till 3 years. 3 years, full stop. Rather, the provision under Article 258, that is delegatory mechanism, must be used more often, OFTEN, often. The number 6, ISC must be named as Intergovernmental Council. The next, union government should not ordinarily impose any tax in form of surcharge. Then next, union government must continue to reserve its powers for paramilitary forces for the states, but state should be consulted state should be consulted before deployment of these forces before deployment of these forces to control any grave situation. grave grave situation, right? So this is just you can say the expansion part of interstate council for you. Now the expansion part of the last but one point, that is article 301 to article 307, we can take that point that you have already taken, last but one point, the freedom of trade and commerce, right? Article 301 to article 307. So what article 301 is all about? It will be a conflict. कैंसिल इसलिए नहीं होगा क्योंकि दोनों two or more states requested the parliament to make the law. Yes, under article 252, the request from the state is going to the parliament that please make the law. But that law is permanent till it is repealed, and how it will be repealed, there is also a matter. That is why 3 years period. Now coming to the article 301, how it is different from article 191G. Article 191G. So basically article 191G is giving freedom to an individual to carry out any business, trade or work subject to certain restrictions, including on the ground of morality and decency. So you can go and work, no problem, but surrogacy mother, no. Yes or no? Morality and decency. Then you cannot employ children. Then article 191G will come in contest with article 24 also, article 23 also, trafficking, article 23, 24, a child below 14 years cannot be employed for any dangerous or hazardous activity. But article 301 is a collective right, not to the individual, but to tangible items, to intangible items like services, to corporations, to a big company. So it is borderless too. If it is not borderless, then BPUs and KPUs could not be brought. What is BPU and what is KPU? What is SPU? Business process outsourcing. What is business process outsourcing? So for example, the telecallers here from night 12 o'clock to 6 o'clock, what are they doing? They are entertaining the call from US, wherein there's a day when we are sleeping. So consumers purchased the item, grievances. So cheap labor here in India, telecalling work. For US it is cheap, but it is good for us that we can have more money comparatively. Okay, BPOs, business process outsourcing. KPO, knowledge process outsourcing. SPO, social process outsourcing. Social network, what do you think? Facebook, Twitter, not they are they not managing the things from India or the other developing countries? Yes. The business not of India but of US, because for the want of the labor not in that manual sense, but the educated people, skilled labor. Okay. So Article 301 and Article 191G, please write one line about it. Put the heading freedom of trade, comma commerce, trade and commerce. It is part 13 basically. Prostitution is legal, but running brothel is not legal. As a DM, you will be giving license to the prostitute, but brothel is not नहीं, हेल्थ के ग्राउंड पे होता है, हेल्थ के ग्राउंड पे होता है. No, brothel means you are taking a building on rent, or you are having a commercial shop, right? And then there is a group which is imparting the service. किसी को भी दिया जा सकता है. रेड अलर्ट एरिया. With the tacit support of police, these are all being running. These are being no. So for example, one group of the bhaiya log of yours, like seniors who couldn't clear interviews and all, they made a group that now abhi we will be working for humanitarian issues. So one of the humanitarian issue was that why they became so. It is not the choice. You see this. So then they made a group, hired media, and went to interview some of the people there. They sat with them, asked that what happened all, that you are here. So then you can see the videos. Okay, so that's how it is. So NGOs, the civil society, but you see that is the way. In Singapore and all, in US, not only prostitution but also running brothel is legal. Here in India, it is not. But you cannot control this scenario. That is what is this. But only thing is that apart from morality, the health hazard it involves. Hmm? Right to movement of freedom. Article 19(1)(d). Hmm? Hmm. We have allowed them to work. That's it. And in the individual capacity, not as a group capacity. So Article 301 has not been given to these people. Article 301 is possible. Article 301 is required to give permission to a setup like brothel. Article 19(1)(g) is sufficient to give permission to an individual. They have. They have. Hmm. Hmm. So pros and cons both are there. So it is more connected to the culture also. It is more connected to the education level. It is more connected to the crime. It is more connected to the total as a nation, the values that we have. So it's a big picture. So when we talk about the alcohol and prostitution, the dress code, then everything is interconnected. Yeah. So lottery we are not having now, but gambling is there. Hmm? Yeah, on the top of it, bitcoins are also there. Ah. And there was a tussle between court and the government for bitcoins. Hmm? Hmm. Culture. So we have to balance the scenario, like what is the demand of the question that is to be seen. Then there is an issue like beer bars in Mumbai. So what happened that one legislation scrapped all the beer bars running. It is an attack not only on Article 301 but on Article 191G. In beer bars, the employees, they were working, right? Now after scrapping this beer bar concept, they were unemployed, and other person was trying to give them employment. Their company was also disturbed, so they were filing the PIL that please allow us to die for the want of work, that no one is giving us any work. Then again the reinstate, that the beer bars concept was reinstated to employ them. So this is a gray area, and no final kind of left or right is possible of this issue. This will ever be going on. So please write Article 301 to 307 part 13. It is part 13 of Indian Constitution. Article 301 to 307. From Article 308, what is there? Part 14 is all about UPSC. You have already covered. Then from Article 324, elections, that you have already covered. Elections was about part 15. UPSC was about 14. This is about part 13. Yes or no? That's how it is. And before that, the legislative and administrative relations I was talking about. Yes or no? No? Okay. The Indian Constitution, for economic unity and integrity, which is important for achieving political and cultural rights have been provided in order to prevent the states the states from enacting ENACTING. Enacting means making a law. Enacting law, keeping in mind local and regional requirements, which may restrict the movement It has been borrowed from Australian Constitution. It has been borrowed from Australian Constitution. Full stop. Article 301 provide general principle that trade and commerce trade and commerce throughout Indian territory shall be free for both for both interstate trade as well as intrastate trade trade. The difference between Article 19(1)(g) the difference between Article 19(1)(g) and Article 301 is that the first is available to the individual, whereas latter latter is available uh, is available collectively for corporation, group of individuals, as well as state. We'll stop. Then Article 19(1)(g) is for static activity, whereas Article 301 is related to goods movement. Full stop. Moreover, Article 19(1)(g) is fundamental and available to Indian citizen only. Is fundamental right and is available to citizen only, whereas Article 301 is available for alien too. ALIEN means the foreigners too, means non-citizens, available for non-citizens too. Then also during Article 352 national emergency, Article 19(1)(g) is suspended. And it is Article 301 that provides validity to discriminate the preferences that center has for one state over the others for supply of goods. Okay, so these are the differences under Article 301. Now, there are other articles like 302 which provides the legal base that Parliament can make the law for TCI. TCI means trade, commerce, and intermovements. Okay. Hmm? Misogynistic. Under article, it can be granted or punished, means restricted. Hmm. Article 21. Hmm? Illegal. Legal it is. Means non-enforceable. It is constitutional. So constitutional means enforceable and non-enforceable both. Hmm? It's enforceable in court of law, not the way that fundamental right is. Yeah. Otherwise it is. Because validity means it will be examined by the court only. Hmm? 19(1)(g). Conflict. Not necessarily. It is complementing. It is complementing. Not the way I never thought. Last class. Ah, ah. एक constituency से if the political party headquarter wants. अभी नहीं की है क्या? Hmm? I was hearing the news. I forgot the regional name of that place in Gujarat. So they were cutting the prospect of Congress party. Yeah. What is the problem? तो इंडिपेंडेंट बना के ही तो फील्ड करते हैं. Not necessarily. Not necessarily. So you are saying I have understood your thing that like my thing was construed as that tickets has been issued to more than one candidate. Tickets cannot be issued from, yeah, tickets cannot be issued. डॉक्ट्रिन ऑफ एसेंशियलिटी वैसे होता क्या है? डॉक्ट्रिन ऑफ एसेंशियलिटी बेसिकली ओरिजिनेट हुआ है कोर्ट से, not from the constitution. Doctrine of essentiality means the only essential part which is important for you to practice a religion cannot be denied. Cannot be denied. And what example I gave to explain this? That you can read the hymns, the slogans, right, in your home, that you can, whatever you want to feel inside you about your religion, you can. But it isn't that loudspeaker use is essential part of practicing your uh, religion? No. So this is what doctrine of essentiality is. It also include that going to temple is important for you to practice your religion. No, that is what I find. But when it comes to law and order problem, then time it can be restricted. That time it can be restricted. But what is the scenario that Article 26 provides that I will be setting up a religious institution. Religious institution means temple, mosque, church, etc. So I should be given a land. Then I can make an NGO so that donation is there so that I can make sprawling buildings, temple building. वेन्यू है, हो नहीं सकता है, ठीक है. बट what I am saying is that is it deniable or not? It is not deniable. And that is why you see why gurudwaras generally are so big? Notice it. In here in Delhi, the the biggest land in cumulative term is covered by, as far as Article 26 is concerned, by gurudwaras. You see here, any gurudwara, not small like temple, big land. Why? Doctrine of essentiality. There are many cases, but to the best of my knowledge, the secularism, what case you have read? So doctrine of essentiality is newer in nature, but for the first time it was indirectly discussed in Keshavananda Bharti case. That is it really essential for you to have this temple over the national project? That was the issue. Then it was decided that when it comes to the national project, when we can remove it. Then there was a revision in another case in the 1980s that the temple built in between the road should be destroyed to make the road or not. Then court held that temple will not be destroyed. You see, if there is a temple in between the road has to make its way, not the temple. A small one, not big one. A small one, not the big one. And that temple word has been now given expansion for any religious institution under Article 26. When you go to Rani Lakshmi Bai Road here, from here Karol Bagh to Kashmiri Gate and Delhi University, so it is having like this Isnal move. Why? To save the mosque. Otherwise it should have been the straight way. So we had to spend around more than 300 crore rupees in that bridge, but we had to do. Okay, so that's what is the main thing. Now coming back to the powers of the parliament to restrict trade and commerce. What's time it is? अभी तो time है ना? नहीं? 10 minute है, 10 minutes more. 12 minutes. Okay, time is there. So we can straightway write the powers of parliament to restrict trade and commerce. Trade and commerce, right in it. The constitution under Article 302 and Article 303 authorizes the parliament to restrict trade and commerce within Indian territory. Within Indian territory, if it is in broad public interest. If it is in broad public interest. But no preference or discrimination between state is possible. But no discrimination or preference for states is possible. Is possible. Possible, but yes, in case of a scarcity of goods, maybe positive discrimination is possible. Now, next paragraph. State legislature, state legislature under Article 304 can impose restriction or a tax for some imported or some imported items coming from other states but such law is subject to three conditions. But such law is subject to three conditions. Number one, without without prior precedent consent, such bill cannot be introduced. Such bill cannot be introduced in a state legislature. In a state legislature. The number two, it is about only reasonable restriction. Reasonable restriction. The number three, such restriction is in public interest. For example, liquor banning, which is also corrected to Article 47. Yes or no? 47, which talks about promotion of living standard. Okay. Then put the heading aspects related to the compensatory or regulatory tax. Aspects related to compensatory or regulatory taxes. What is the difference between these four? हाँ जी, आप बताओगे जल्दी से. अभी तो सरचार्ज वाला एक पॉइंट बताया था मैंने आपको आधा घंटा पहले इन द रिकमेंडेशंस ऑफ सरकारिया कमीशन. Surcharge is tax on tax. And so is cess, tax on tax. हम्म? अच्छा, कोई पर्पस नहीं होता, इनका कोई पर्पस नहीं है जी. अच्छा, इसका पर्पस है एजुकेशन सेस, environmental cess, right? So education says for your the fees that you give in education, I mean it is inclusive of 2%. Education says tax on tax. Tax on tax means for 100 rupees 10% tax is to be there. 10, 10 rupees added. Then on this tax component, there is 2% cess. Means 2% of 10 rupees. How much? Hmm? 0.2. So in total, how much? This is to be paid. Now this may be surcharge or this may be cess. Surcharge is collected for any general benevolent activity, but cess is for a defined purpose. Hmm? Only for the center. No, the surcharge and cess for the relative component. So if they have to put, like center has to put on a state tax, it can, but it has to be consented to by the states too. That is what Sarkaria Commission was saying. Now tax and duty, these both are legislative phenomenon, means without legislature approval it cannot be put. Tax is for the intangible item and tangible item both, but duties are for tangible items. Say for example, customs duties cannot be called as customs tax. Goods duties, right? Service tax, service cannot be duty. Intangible, that you cannot touch. Yes or no? And that is what the problem in India. The problem of collecting indirect tax is difficult or direct? Hmm? Direct tax difficult है. Indirect tax difficult नहीं है. Hmm? So we have brought GST. Goods tax is different, service tax is different. Combining them together is GST. Now this GST is for both or for only one? Indirect, right? So indirect tax is acronymed as wipro.co.in, or it is for direct tax? Wealth tax, property tax, corporate tax and income tax. It is for direct tax. We have not brought the GST for wipro.co.in, but we have brought GST for, excuse me, excise. Excise is manufacturing tax or import tax? Production, manufacturing, toothpaste, manufacturing, pen, manufacturing, excise. Custom duty, it cannot be tax. Service tax, market tax, entertainment tax. Okay. So compensatory and regulatory tax, it is all about these all phenomenon that we have discussed here. आज डिस्कस करेंगे इसे कल? कल करेंगे, ठीक है, कल कर लेंगे भाई. हाँ. It can be fine, it can be imprisonment, both. It is as according to the law. It is according to the law. Many serious laws have been made for this purpose, right? Excise, custom, service, market and entertainment. Basically excise, not exercise. Excise is goods only. Service is here, making it to be called as GST. Tangible and intangible, these both are having tangible and intangible. For example, excise duty, custom duty, is tangible for more the goods can be tangible, services are intangible, knowledge intangible. लगता है what are you doing, what I am doing here? Consultancy, lawyer, service tax, any consultancy. Service tax, service tax. That's it. So see you tomorrow for the other issues. Okay.